What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dinger City Baseball Club Super Stats Extravaganza, part one of probably one. I'm Mr. Joe.
And I'm City Hall.
And I'm Mr. Joe, joined by City Hall. And we're going to be bringing you the stats from the regular season of Season 7 of Dinger City. We're going to be breaking down things like batting average, most home runs, OPS, all those goodies. And then we'll get into some more player-specific stuff, which I think is pretty fun, personally.
Very interesting, yeah.
So I'll start us off here. We're going to talk about batting averages first. I took the averages of every player's stats with each character, told them up. We got nice numbers here. Minimum of 100 plate appearances is what we're working off. So, coming in fifth place, we've got Waluigi, batting .360. Not something I would expect from Waluigi. And above Waluigi, a slightly better character, Bowser, batting .384. Toadsworth coming in with a .386 batting average. Green Drybones, one of our star hitters, .401 average, so we've broken the 400 point. And leading the batting average in the league was Red Magikoopa, who was batting .428. I think that the reason we see Red Mag and not any of the other Mages is because the players that take Red Mag are like Lionel, Matty, Dennis, Tommy. So I think that might be a little indicative of why that happened there.
Yeah, very cool to see the star hitters up here because this is not just their star average. This is their average on a whole. So even when they're not swinging with star hitters, they're pretty good. And also you're very surprised to see Waluigi up here.
It's crazy. And he had enough at-bats to qualify him for this.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
A lot of people were taking him, and it's very, very cool to see him. You see Lionel use him a lot. Spencer likes him. Nick likes him. Things like that. So, you do see some nice stats from Waluigi there. Why don't you bring us over to our next stat here, the on-base percentage.
Coming in at number 5, we have Donkey Kong with .364, then Toadsworth with .389, Green Drybones with .407, Red Magikoopa with .429, and Bowser with .592.
That's actually insane to me. Bowser, I mean, I understand that Bowser getting on base 60% of the time. Like, you can walk him or he hits a home run 60% of the time, essentially. That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it totally makes sense. But it's just crazy to me that you have this batter that's 60% of the time he's going to produce at the plate.
Definitely higher than anyone in real baseball, right?
Yeah, I think the highest on-base percentage at this moment is like .452.
Okay, so
I mean,
above Red Match.
Still very impressive. He's a very great player, Juan Soto. Very great player. But I actually looked at that stat earlier today. But it's just, this is unheard of, 592. Yeah. That's some Barry Bonds numbers. I don't even know if he hit that. He might have, though. So our next stat coming after on-base percentage, the last one in the triple slash, as they call it, of batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. So coming in at number 5, we got Red Magikoopa slugging .507. King Boo with a .533, Boomerang Bro with a .651, Hammer Bro with a .693, and coming in first place, you could have guessed it, Bowser with a whopping 1.075 slugging percentage.
Above 1 is hilarious to me.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, slugging percentage is essentially a number quantifying the average number of bases a character gets per at-bat. So, every time Bowser comes up, on average, he gets to at least first base. A little further, actually, which is just insane. It's absolutely insane. Because sometimes you get 0, but Bowser, he puts up a lot of 4s. It's very impressive. And, moving on. We've got our OPS, which is on base plus slugging. We're just taking those last two stats we went over, mashing them together to one beautiful baseball number.
Red Magikoopa has a .936. He's in a lot of lists. Boomerang Bro has a .979. Petey has a .983. Hammer Bro has a 1.019. And Bowser has a 1.667. So this is pretty much what we expected to see is the 4 power hitters with Bro eking slightly above them and Bowser way above them. And Red Mag is on here too as a little bonus.
It's awesome seeing Red Mag so high. Magikoopa really just producing as a character. And it's crazy to see Bowser a 1.667 while that is those are video game numbers. You're not going to see that in real baseball. Barry Bonds came close. I think he had like a 1.4 something in one season, which
Wow.
is ridiculous. That's what happens when you do steroids, I guess.
All right, tell us about the hits. How many hits did all these players get?
Oh, our hit leaders. We're going to give you the top 5. We got Birdo. There she is, coming in number 5 with 123 hits. Donkey Kong with 137. Boo, 141. Tied with Yoshi, also 141. And then Toadsworth coming in with 146. No surprises there. Toadsworth, we consider him the most consistent singles hitter for a reason, and you could see it right here. I think it's pretty crazy that DK was so high up, because I feel like, while he does get a lot of like the banana ball doubles, we didn't see too much DK captain this past season.
I'm not too surprised about DK because he has a hit very similar to Toadsworth. I'm more surprised about Yoshi because not many people are using his star hit, so people are really just getting on with like a basic bat a lot of the time.
And it really shows you how just how good that character is, because he still has the star hit, and you don't even need it because he has such a productive bat. But we've got a little more production coming up, and I think this is a fun stat here. We got your home run leaders. Andrew, why don't you take us from here?
All right, so outside of the top 4 power hitters, we have DK with 11 home runs, and then King Boo with 25, Bro with a cumulative 39, Petey with 43, and Bowser with 59.
You could have guessed it.
I'm surprised to see King Boo so low on this list.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of thought him and Petey were up, right next to each other, but I guess he's more of a singles hitter. He can hit more singles, so maybe people don't home run with him as often, or maybe he's just worse.
Yeah, I think what you see is you see a lot of doubles from King Boo. You do see the slap hit coming out more and more as time goes on, the star hit even. And when we saw in the slugging percentage, he still broke that top 5. He was behind Bowser, Hammer, and Boomer, but he is still ahead of Petey in that aspect and that shows that he's more likely to, he'll get the singles, he'll get the doubles. While he can still put him over the fence, Petey's like a true 3-outcome guy. He gets walks, he gets strikeouts, and he gets home runs. That's what he does. So we're going to move on now to our final batting stat. I lied to you. It's not our final batting stat. I was just keeping you on edge. It's our final batting production stat. We've got our RBI leaders. So coming in 5th place, we've got Birdo with 51 RBIs. King Boo, there he is again, with 75 RBIs. Then the total from all the bros is 87, and just a breakdown of that, it's 58 from Hammer, 28 from Boomer, and 1 from Fire Bro, which I think was also a home run that he had in there. And then Petey with 109 and Bowser with 127. And I think it's really interesting that Petey is pretty close to Bowser in both home runs and RBIs, because it goes to show that even though he's not Bowser, he's producing basically just as much as you would see Bowser. Obviously a little less, but I think that's just because he's a little harder to use.
Right. Probably because Bowser's getting walked a lot too.
Yeah, that as well. So I think the fact that people don't fear Petey as much as Bowser might be a mistake, because he puts up very good numbers. And you can see people pitching to Petey versus pitching to Bowser. Petey's putting up numbers that almost rival him. So a very, very impressive character. If you didn't think Petey was great already, you definitely should now.
Yeah, you love to see Birdo up here. It's just proof that she's getting a lot of triples and doubles, but not a lot of home runs.
Yeah, so actually I was looking, and Birdo hits more doubles and triples than she does singles.
Yeah, that's
which is
crazy.
Very, very awesome. It's that egg. It's a double or a triple, or it's an out. Who knows? You rarely see a single on eggs. So our last batting stat. Oh man, I've lied to you once more.
Strikeouts.
I just struck out on that one.
Petey's coming in at 67 strikeouts. Bowser with 71. Boo with 73. King Boo with 90. And DK with 109.
Not surprised to see DK at the top here. It's he's got a small bat. You see a lot of people strike out with them.
I am surprised to not see Toadsworth here. I would think Toadsworth would be striking out with his thin hitbox.
I would as well, but honestly, I think it's the fact that Toadsworth can reach so far over the plate that a lot of people will try to throw outside to him, and everyone just hits him. I think Toadsworth's the kind of character where everyone's become comfortable with him, and I think that's a very important thing in this game. If you're good with Toadsworth, you're gonna have a good time when you have him on your team.
Right.
He really produces like no other singles hitter. I'll tell you that much. And now, our actual final batting stat. No bamboozles. None of that. I don't have time for that. It's our star hit batting average. So this is on a minimum of 20 stars that were put in play by the batter. This is how many, their average of how many landed. So we're going to start out at the bottom here. We've got Birdo the bottom. She had a 634 batting average on stars. That's pretty good. 63%, not bad. Red Magikuba once again making a list with a 667 average. Green Drybones. This is one that I was surprised to see so high. He's got a 706 average on his star. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think the highest among a non-captain.
Yes, yeah, it is. Because next
Spoilers.
Uh-oh. We've got Mario, another surprising one to see in my opinion. A lot of people were like, Mario star sucks, but here he is with a 737 average on stars. And finally, you hate to see it if you're a Birdo fan, we got the Yoshi Egg coming in at 750. 75% of the time, 3 out of 4, you're going to land a hit with this Yoshi Egg ball.
I've done a lot of egg research in my time. While Birdo's egg does get double played more often, it does land for doubles and triples more often, leading to a higher sluggage, higher RBI, higher value per star. You know, if you're spending a star, you want more.
It's a risk reward, and the reward's too sweet to not risk it.
Right, and if you've only got one risk to put into your reward, it's like you know on to the next stat.
And that comes to an end of our batting stats. We're going to move over to pitching now. We got a few stats here for you. Actually, by a few, I mean just one. We've got the ERA stat. So this is a minimum of 30 innings pitched. The ERA, I had tracked it for a majority of the season, although there were a couple weeks that we had skipped it. Quick disclaimer there. But this is fairly indicative of how the season went. And Andrew, why don't you give it to us? So this is earned runs average.
All right. Coming in at the bottom is Dixie with 7.07. Then we have Diddy with 6.20. Waluigi with 4.78. Boo with 3.83. And Goomba with 2.33. Presumably this is Dennis or someone pitched a few games with Goomba, went crazy, and then never played him again.
We saw a decent amount of innings out of Goomba. But the thing is, you see a lot of Goomba from Gil, Tommy, Dennis, all good, especially, Dennis and Gil, they're two of the best players in the league. So when they pitch with Goomba, you tend to see the lower average. That's why, or the lower earned runs. That's why you see Goomba so high. But I think the most insane thing here is Boo with a 3.83. That means on average in a 9-inning game, Boo gives up less than 4 runs. If you can hold your opponent to 4 runs, you should win most games, in my opinion.
And that's crazy in a game with Bowser, this video game character that's hitting home runs every half at bats.
And everybody picks Boo. It's not like only the good players are picking Boo. So when you have, good players and players that are weaker at pitching picking this character and you still see him have a sub-4 ERA, that's incredible. And I'm pretty happy to see Waluigi up here because, Spencer pitches with Waluigi a lot, and Lionel likes Waluigi a lot too. So it's very cool to see a character like that in the top 3 there.
Yeah, Waluigi is a character. He ranked pretty low on the tier list. He hasn't seen a lot of league play, and I'm seeing his name pop up a lot of times here where I'm not seeing names like Green Noki or Toadette.
You're not seeing names like Toadette. That's true. Maybe if we had a fielding stats one, we'd see her a bit more. But it is surprising that we hadn't seen Noki. You didn't see Paratroopa at all. But you see Waluigi pop up twice now, which is very impressive.
I think Paratroopa with a .609 star bat hitting average. I looked it up a few days ago, so he's right into the 6th spot, I'd assume.
Just missed it, right on the cusp.
All right, moving on to the players' strengths. This is individual players in the club like me or Joey. It's going to go over our star chances 1, our best batter, and our best pitcher.
Yeah, no, it's a very fun little stat combination that we've got here.
So why don't you start us off with my favorite player in the club, Maddie?
Oh yeah, of course. We'll start off with
I just realized this visual humor they're not going to get.
Yeah.
Joey's the first one on the list.
The first person on this list, Maddie. Of course, not me at all, the person who made the list. So Maddie, he won 60.9% of the star chances that were opportuned to him. Is that a real word? Opportuned?
I think so.
That's awesome. His best batter was DK, who he was batting 792 with. An average of 792 with DK is insane.
Yeah.
And his best pitcher was Toadsworth, who he used multiple times. He had more than 9 innings. I think it was something like 15 innings. Not a single run given up.
That is awesome.
That is so impressive.
Toadsworth isn't even that good.
Yeah, he's a pretty average pitcher. Now, why don't you tell me about Mike's favorite player in the league?
Me, Andrew. Let me scroll down.
Oh, man.
No. Joey has a 59.4% star chances won of the star chances that were opportune to him. His best batter was Bowser with a .455 average, and his best pitcher was Boo with a 2.33 ERA. Very, very impressive ERA. Not a very impressive average coming out of your best hitter.
You know, it's tough to follow up Maddie with a 792 from DK because that is truly insane. But I will say, I'm a very basic person here. You've got Bowser, best hitter, Boo, best pitcher. I'm sorry, I'm a slave to the top tiers. What can I say?
All right, why don't you tell us about Gil?
We love Gil.
I love Gil.
Gil won 57.9% of his star chances. His best batter was Boo with a 609 average, and his best pitcher was Toadsworth with a 2.25 ERA.
Did you confuse this? Did you reverse these stats?
Isn't it crazy?
This is crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So weird. Shout out to Gil.
Shout out to Gil. Weirdo. All right, taking on to Jason. He won 51.5% of his star chances. His best batter was Blue Magikoopa, not red, .444 average, and his best pitcher was Dixie with a 3.55 ERA. And I've played against Jason a lot. The thing he does with that Dixie pitcher where it kind of wiggles on the outside a little bit, you never know, and then it goes all the way inside. It's messed up.
It's so messed up. Now, we're going to move on to a former champion of the Mario Superstar Baseball Club, now Dinger City. We got Dennis. You know him. You'll love him. He only won 46.9% of his star chances. Now, obviously, not everyone can be over 50% because, you know, some people have to lose them, some people have to win them. But seeing Dennis below average is pretty strange.
Dennis is not who I thought would lose him. He's a frequent complainer of not getting star chances, but he's also a frequent being good at the game.
Who knew that his complaining about star chances was justified?
It was actually real. He wins not a lot of them.
We're sorry, Dennis.
And yeah, you actually got the stats correct this time with the Boo and the Toadsworth.
Of course. So his best batter was Toadsworth, batting 500 even, 50-50, and his best pitcher was Boo with a 2.75 ERA. So, coming up next, we got Nick. Why don't you tell us about Nick, your favorite player?
My least favorite player of the club. 47.6 star chances won.
That guy sucks.
Yeah, right? His best batter was Yoshi with a .512 average. Weirdo. His best pitcher was Boo with a 2.06 ERA. That's a very respectable ERA.
It is. That's a great ERA. Nick has always been a good pitcher, and it's a wonder how he sucks so bad. So next up, we're going to talk about Tyler. Tyler with a 53.1% win percentage on his star chances. His best batter was Toadsworth. You see him a lot. Also an even 500. And his best pitcher was Boo, a 3.26 ERA, a combination we've seen a couple times now.
So pretty standard stuff we're seeing out of Tyler.
Solid pitcher, solid batter.
Lionel, pretty low star chances won with a 42.9. His best batter was King Boo with a 500 average, and his best pitcher was Diddy with a 2.13 ERA. King Boo, I think, is the only time we're seeing him on this little player list, is it?
Yeah, so far, but we're going to see him again right now because we're going to talk about Andrew.
Oh, word?
With the highest star percentage so far with 64.4. His best batter, not King Boo, Yoshi, which is kind of funny, actually.
Burns my soul
with
inside.
A 643 average.
I hate that.
And his best pitcher is King Boo from a stellar 9-inning performance, giving up 0 runs against Dennis. Now, technically, the 8.2 innings pitch that he had was a little low, but I felt like I had to say it because you shut down Dennis for a full game. It felt appropriate.
Do you know my Boo ERA or my someone else ERA? Or do
I know it?
Do I have to look that up on my own time?
All right, we're going to do it right now. By the way, Andrew, your ERA with Boo is about 4.77.
Okay.
So, why don't you give us the next one? Cokes.
41.4 star chances won. Awful. Best batter is Birdo with .476 average, and the best pitcher is Diddy with a 5.93 ERA.
It's a little rough on the ERA, but Cokes had to get into the club, get adjusted real quick, coming from the net play world, and he'll be back with some more action, hopefully. So next up, we got young upstart Joe Stimmel. That's your protege, Baby Hall.
I love Baby Hall.
Huge came in with a 53.4 star chances won. And his best batter was Green Dry Bones. No surprise there. He loves his green bones with a 579 average. And his best pitcher was Green Dry Bones with a .9 ERA. That is awesome.
That is awesome. He pitches a lot with green dry bones.
Yes, he does. This is the
Way
most
to go, huge.
the most huge stat line I've ever seen. Best batter, green bones. Best pitcher, green bones. What else can you ask from the
I think
guy?
that's the only person where it's the same character on both, and Boo exists.
It has, yeah. No, it's super crazy that we didn't see Boo twice.
Yeah, or Toadsworth twice.
Yeah.
Dan has a 46.9% star chances won. His best batter is also green dry bones with a 500 average.
50,
His best batter
baby.
is also green dry bones with a .500 average, and his best pitcher is Boo with a 3.79 ERA.
Cool to see green dry bones again. Love seeing the green bones. And all right, so our not final person here is going to be Tommy. Tommy won 47.5% of his star chances. His best batter was Toadsworth with a 500 average. We see that a lot, the 500 with Toadsworth.
Yeah.
And his best pitcher was Goomba with a 1 ERA even. That's impressive.
Yeah.
You love to see the low ERAs, and he's using them a couple times. So very impressive job by Tommy there.
Billy has a 52.4 star chances won. His best batter is Yoshi with a 600 average, and his best pitcher is Dixie with a 5.65 ERA.
Honestly, pretty impressive stats from Billy,
Yeah,
someone who struggled a little bit last season. I think they'll be back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And our actual final one this time around is Spencer. He won 46.7% of his star chances. His best batter was Luigi, a character we haven't seen yet, with a 643 average. And his best pitcher was Waluigi, another character we haven't seen on this list yet, with a 2.88 ERA. That's very impressive from Spencer.
Shocking stats.
I know, it's honestly very impressive. Spencer is the kind of player where he will break out one game and play incredibly, and then he'll get washed the next one. It's very impressive. And unfortunately, our last player, Nolan, we don't have the data on him because he didn't come to our regular meetings. He came to our stream days, and I did not take stats from those.
Do you want to make something up for us?
Oh, yeah, okay. So Nolan's best batter was Mario. He had a 979 average with him.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
I think only missed one at bat.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds right. And his best pitcher was actually, believe it or not, Monty Mole, where he had a 14.9 ERA.
Yeah, it's
The tough
not a great stat to see.
Yeah, no, it's tough out there if you're Nolan, but we appreciate you coming, man. So that's actually all that we have for you guys today. We hope you enjoyed the video. We broke down the stats from the season. If you want to see that again,
Just rewind the video.
yeah, I guess rewind. I don't think we're gonna do this again for next season, but we might. So you better watch and wait, and I might give you the video, or maybe I won't. A little teasing.
All right.
Well,
Without
if
further ado.
well, we got a little more, Andrew.
Oh, okay. So a little ado for you.
Yeah. Some more ado to go because the patrons are ado.
Wow.
Wow.
You can subscribe at any tier of our Patreon. The link is in the description. At $5, I believe you get some games early. You get to make a little bracket prediction at the end of the season. Lots of great stuff. You can check out all the rewards on our Patreon link in the description. And there's also a Discord in the description where we talk about various meta developments, channel happenings, net play.
Or if you just want to see a picture of a dog or a cat, we got a channel for that too. There's a ton of stuff going on. Speed running. It's awesome. We got a world record speedrun holder in our presence, Dirge.
Oh, yeah. Hi. I thought you were talking about Matty Ice.
No, it's you.
It's me.
But also Matty Ice, who holds the Mario Superstar Baseball world record. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, drop a comment, drop a like, hit the bell, and we will see you next time. Dinger City out.